SeatGeek, tickets, sporting events, SeatGeek, concerts, awesome deals, view from seat, SeatGeek, save money, first purchase, my code, SeatGeek, my code, SeatGeek. The battle is over, the war has been won, and the age of pace and space has taken over the NBA. More and more coaches have embraced the three or layup philosophy, and no other player represents this line of attack more than Wardell Stephen Curry II. Now, I know people thought he'd struggle coming off of back-to-back MVP seasons and having to play alongside some scrub named Kevin Durant. Well, I know I expected Curry to break even more records as his shots got easier and easier with another former MVP in his prime on his team. And through the first 59 games of the season, Curry's shooting was fine. Nothing earth-shattering, maybe slightly below his lofty standards, but they were good, and more importantly, the team was rolling towards another NBA title. But suddenly, in the blink of Zaza's eye, Durant's knee was sprained, and Warriors Nation let out a collective gasp. Since then, the Warriors have been a very mortal 4-4 with an unheard of 3-game losing streak. But what's even more concerning is Steph Curry's shooting. In fact, we can trace his three-point percentage drop a little further back to 10 games ago. And it's truly startling when you consider he's the best shooter we've ever seen, clanking so many open jumpers. To give you some context, Curry shot 47% in 14-15 and 46% in 15-16 from behind the arc when he was wide open. Over the course of this season, he is shooting an eyebrow-raising 42% when wide open from back there. And in the last 10 games, he's utterly cratered to less than 19% while wide open. So let's take a deep dive into what is going on and why he's struggling so much from beyond the arc. Hey sports fans, I wanted to sneak in here for a very quick second to tell you about a new app that I'm obsessed with called FireFan. When you watch a game live, it lets you make picks and predictions during timeouts, like will Russ get 3 assists in the next 2 minutes, or will one team score 6 points in a row before the half. It's a whole new way to be engaged with the basketball game, and it's competitive. You can compete against me and tons of other people while talking serious trash in the chat room and earn points the more picks you get right. They've got a lot of prizes you can win, like a MacBook Air and wireless headphones, and I've been doing it for March Madness and I can't put this thing down. So don't forget, this app is free and there are tons of ways to earn points. So download the app and enter Coach Nick as your player rewards code. I've got my own league with all the NBA games in there, so click on the link in the description or on the screen to download FireFan, use my code Coach Nick, and I'll see you there. I charted all 76 misses from behind the arc over the last 10 games to get some insight from his numbers standpoint to what is actually going on with his jumper. First off, in transition, he's shooting an anemic 10.5%. One thing to notice is that when KD was on the floor with him, the attention Durant garnered tended to get wide open shots for Curry, either when KD spotted up or brought the ball up himself. And this is significant because in the last 10 games, teams have appeared to get a lot better at picking Curry up in transition and making these shots more difficult by getting a hand up. That's not to say you can give the defense all the credit. These are the same shots we've seen Curry make with ease over his career. But watching a ton of clips over the last 10 games makes me think that there are a lot fewer open threes in transition. I also noticed Steph doing the unthinkable, hesitating on his threes. It's not a whole lot of them, but enough to catch my eye and make me wonder if it's gotten into his head, since normally he just let these shots fly without a care in the world. If it wasn't Curry, I wouldn't think twice, but there is something up, and the hesitation definitely affects accuracy. Of course, I'd love to point to his footwork and show you why his shots are missing, but I've never been able to see any consistent pattern to his makes versus misses. His feet move all over the place when he shoots. He's that good that as long as he can find the release with the upper body, he's been able to make a ridiculous amount of threes with his feet being in every conceivable position. That said, I do prefer when he keeps his feet somewhat together on the way down, and I did notice a number of his misses where his feet parachute out on the landing. Remember, I can find instances where he makes them doing this, but he's struggling now, and he might need to keep the feet under control until he can reignite his splashiness. Also, there are times when his set position is off balance. Steph is the king of keeping his nose behind his toes, yet there have been a few instances where his body positioning was off, something that all young players should work on to maintain optimal balance when shooting, especially off the dribble. Let's talk about his open jumpers, something that he's been so good at his whole career. He has gotten the most wide open shots off the pick and roll, and it's pretty balanced going to his left and his right. However, of his 7 pick and roll misses, 6 of them have been using the hop, something he definitely uses, but not this often. He's also missing a lot of his wide open jumpers off of spot ups, and most of them are on the left side, which is also very curious since most righties shoot better on the left side of the floor because their hip and elbow are naturally aligned with the hoop. Of note, all of his misses from spot up are 1-2 left-right footwork, his most common way to shoot overall. We can move from wide open shots to just open shots, where he's also struggling at 41.9% over the whole season. And over the last 10 games, it's sunk to 32.5%, and it's primarily out of spot up situations. There isn't a pattern to which side of the floor he's missing on. He's been equal opportunity from both the left and right side, and they're just about all spot up shots. If we examine the direction Steph was moving as he went into his shot, there are way more misses going to his left than his right. Again, this is odd since we said that most righties prefer going to their left because their shooting hip and elbow are already aligned to the hoop. Most of these shots came out of the pick and roll, so if I were Steph, I'd get on the practice court and work on shooting threes off the pick and roll going to my left from the top of the key area. This is definitely an area of weakness and certainly a shot he will continue to get in abundance. And I'd also work on left and right wing spot ups, practicing open shots with the defender somewhere in the area to simulate a spot he's been struggling with. He is such a good shooter, I am sure it's just a matter of getting some focused work in on the court in game-like situations where his body can remind itself exactly how to make these shots. Once he gets back in tune with his normal rhythm, the percentage will go back up, and all this extra work will make an even greater difference once that scrub Kevin Durant gets back on the court.